Alright, so we're just going to start off this video by showing off the what I have left over. This one full sheet of plywood, overestimated, but it's going to go towards the nesting boxes, which I've decided afterthought to do. So I've added on to my design. Got this one 2x4 that's 8 feet long, left over as well. That was when I ordered up the cage material. Grabbed one extra just in case, so I didn't end up needing it, just like I thought I wouldn't, so there it is. Along with all these extra 2x4 cutoffs, which will go towards perches and the nesting boxes as well. I got all this 2x4 laying here, these cutoffs, they'll go towards nesting box most likely. And this hardware cloth is going for dividers and ceiling to keep the soffits around the roofs, keep the animals from getting up in there, such as birds, rodents, and other vermin. So that's kind of the idea of that. I got a divider to put up on the top of that, the wall divider that I have in there for the hardware cloth to keep the chickens out from messing with the turkeys. So that's pretty much all that. The only real tool I used was a skill saw and hammer and nails. I had a jigsaw for side that I was going to use, just never ended up needing to use it. So I did everything with just a skill saw, a hammer, and nails, and that was really it. So yeah, there we go. We'll come on down to the chicken coop. Alright guys, this is the turkey coop slash chicken coop that I built. So we've got the outside cage with deer netting. We've got 2 young turkeys in there. I believe they're both toms. Just moved in today and seem pretty comfortable. We got the deer netting up. 6 feet fencing. Built a very simple door just out of 2x4 and a couple hinges and a clasp. Put a 2x4 stop just to keep the door from over closing and being open again. And other than that, stupid simple design. You can't get any simpler than that. So I measured it to 6 feet. The trick is each 2x4 is approximately 1.5 inches thick, so 2 of them will be 3 inches. If you want to do an 8-foot wall, minus 3 inches from your studs when you have your bottom plate and top plate, and that'll equal your total. So it depends on what size you want. Just subtract 3 inches and you got bottom plate, top plate, you'll have your exact height. So I was going to go 8 by 7 in this case. However, it was too tall. I cut it down by a foot, so it's actually 7 by 6, and it was perfect. I've got the chicken door right here. Turkey door works exactly the same, only the chicken door is closed at the moment. We've got this safety clasp on it. It's got this spring activated clip, so raccoons really have to work on it. It's hard for them to do. Open that up and we're inside. So got a bag of mulch, we're ready to lay that down, but generally speaking, up there I need a bit of hardware cloth to go up there to keep the chickens out from going over the turkeys. Other than that, the chickens will be ready to move in. Now I'm no carpenter, I'm an electrician plumber by trade, so as far as the framing, this is as good as it gets for me for what I wanted to spend and what I wanted to do. I've got these clean doors off the side. These clasps may change, but for now they're working just fine. Turn them to the side, open that door, now I can get in there and clean. So I take a shovel, I can shovel out all the sawdust and clean out the shit. I've got some perches to put up in here for the chickens, and I got a watering can and the feeder to put in here, and the chickens will be ready. So the turkey cage is pretty much the same thing, only on this side. We'll open these up, open the door, and they're in there. So I've got this style of water. They're pretty simple, and I'll probably have another one for the chickens. I put the one perch in there because I've only got 2 turkeys, so that'll be more than enough. Still easy to clean. Everything's above, and when they shit, it falls down, and I just scrape up the floor. So that's that. Just lay the 2x4s flat. You don't need to do bird mouths and all that fancy shit. This is just a chicken coop. You get 4 feet of snow on this thing, it'll keep it off. And my area, we never get 4 feet of snow. So we get about 6 inches, if that. So yeah, deer netting. The reason I use deer netting and not hardware cloth or chicken wire, I didn't use deer netting because it was cheaper. The reason I used it is it's better on the bird. The birds jump up against the fencing. They're not going to scar up their bodies or break their beak on the chicken wire. They get this thing called split beak if they get their beaks caught on the wire, and it actually cuts the beak. So with a chicken wire you don't get that. Sorry, with the deer fencing, like fishnet, you don't get that effect. Raccoons, they can bust through chicken wire just like they can bust through this netting. So that's neither are going to keep raccoons out. That building is what's going to keep the raccoons out. So that door goes up every time at night. So that's pretty much what I got going on for this. Just basic framing. It's not even necessarily to code. I did the floor more to code than anything because it's going to carry a lot of weight, and of course a bunch of animals in there, birds and bigger birds. So that's really the part that I really put a lot of beef into, and everything else, I mean, I grab it and I shake it. It doesn't move. This building ain't going anywhere. You could have the strongest wind and it probably ain't going to move. So there you go. This little minor fuck up with the netting. The thing is this netting wasn't square. They say it's 6 feet by 20 feet long, and it's sort of wavy. So, I mean, this is 6 feet exactly. And look how much access I have down here. And it hasn't changed any. It's actually crisp over there. So I had sort of this weird bow in the bottom of my net. So I just took it out and crimped up as much as I could so the turkeys don't get out, really is my main concern. It kind of looks like shit, but whatever, you barely notice it. So yeah, one addition I would like to do is I want to get a netting put up on the roof. Probably another $40 will have to go down on it. Keep the eagles out and keep the turkeys from flying out. But other than that, it's pretty much done. So tomorrow, perches in the chicken side, and that's done. We'll get over to the back side now. What I really want to do, and will be done, I've got some material for this, so this is an extra cost. It's all within the cost. I just haven't done it yet. Is to put some nesting boxes off the back of here. I'll show you the plan that I got for that. It's over at the other coop that the landlord owns. It's not my coop, but it's something I'm going to copy for this back end, and it's the nesting boxes. Basically a sloped roof box that hangs off this with holes in it the chickens can get into, and they nest, lay their eggs. You open up the top and you can get the eggs out. Really easy. I don't have to climb inside the coop, wrestle with chickens, get attacked by roosters just to get the eggs. I can access it from the outside. Stupid simple. So this is basically what I want to do. Just copy this exact design. And just lifts up and you've got your nesting boxes. Alright, so that's my plan for the boxes here. Now another thing, I want to put a shed coming off here, basically off that same roof line, coming out I want to have it 4x4, and therefore have a food shed. Basically I can keep the food storage in there. One thing I have right now is, see that camper that I'm zooming in on? I've got the food stored in there at the moment. It's a little bit of a walk with a 50-pound bag early in the morning, when usually is the time I'm doing it. So if I kept it here, it's just the one trip right here, keep it in here, it's a lot easier, and I can actually use my camper over there and not have to keep it as a storage shed. So it's just another project to do later on down the road. It's not right away, it'll be probably a couple months before I actually do that. I've got a few other expenses to cover right now. So yeah, that's all that. Now, as far as the basic framing goes, I'm just going to go in on the chicken side because the turkeys are sort of settling down for the night and I don't want to disrupt them too much. So we're inside. I've got the divider set up. I don't think I showed this, and it keeps the chickens and turkeys separated. So that hardware cloth that I showed that I have extra, it's going to fill up that space there, so you get airflow, but yet the chickens can't get over into the turkeys. Still got some perches to put up in here, and I'm going to lay down that sawdust there on the floor once I get my perches in, and Rusty's perch is going to get mounted to the floor here, so he can use his, or can use other perches if he wants to, but he's sort of used to his perch, so I figure I might as well make it as close to home for him as I can. Yeah, anyway, I don't know for sure if he's going to be able to manage being outside. He's sort of, he's pretty accustomed to being inside now, so we'll see. Very basic 2x4 framing. No point doing the dovetail bird mouth stuff, trying to get it to fit. It wasn't very steep pitch, so I just laid it flat, and it worked. Used 3-inch common nails to anchor it. 2-inch, 2.5-inch wasn't quite long enough to anchor it properly, so I used a full 3-inch nail. Bang it in there so it ain't going nowhere. Now when you're building a house, it's probably best to do your bird mouth. That's that little nick cut out there, and do your verticals, you get a lot stronger roof. I'm quite aware of that. I built that place. It's relatively to code and works very well. It's basically what I call a trailer mansion. So, anyway, that's not really the video. The video is the chicken coop, the chicken turkey mansion. So, here we go. So, yeah, you've seen the basic fencing. It's quite simple. I've got the doorstop. Stupid, simple, just monkey work, basically. And as simple as I can do. The reason I chose the ramp door is it gives the chickens a ramp. They don't have to jump up, fly in. They can, same with the turkeys, they can walk out when they want and walk in when they want and not have to basically stumble in, you know what I mean. It's, yeah, their feet are only so big, so gave them a ramp. Over here on the chicken side, I showed the latch. I don't think I showed it. Coming basically the same thing. So chickens will be in and out this way, not using the big cleaning doors all the time. You'll save heat that way. The coop will stay warm, especially after it's insulated and sheeted, and I got some heat lights hanging in there. Going to be running power over here, which will be quite easy, just using MWU through conduit most likely, and run it up to a receptacle about 4 feet on the wall so I can plug a light in and chickens won't tamper with it. So there you go, simple, easy build for chickens and turkeys, or any other kind of birds. Basically just aviaries. One addition I'd like to do as well is put a netted roof over of some kind to keep the eagles from actually getting in and keeping the turkeys from flying out. But other than that, the turkeys are happy in there. They're doing just fine, and chickens are going to be moving in tomorrow. So progress is definitely underway. We're getting the birds out of my house, out of my living room. My quality of life will get better. Living with chickens is kind of fun, but it's not that great for the immune system. I've noticed I got a sort of a throat condition right now, sort of almost like a borderline cold, and I'm pretty sure it's from living with the chickens. So once they're out, I think my health will get a little bit better. So there you go. Yeah, chicken coop. I'm pretty impressed with the job I did. 15 hours and just under $800, and boom, we got the home for the chickens and the turkeys, and we'll be making money off eggs real soon.